Good evening, ladies. Good evening. I'm glad you're here to listen to this webinar on self-advocacy. So this session today aims to equip you with information for managing your health proactively. Just note that this session is being recorded, and I am going to put it on my YouTube page and also on my social media platforms. So before we begin, just want to inform you of my disclaimer. Get it up here on the screen. So as most of you know, I'm not a doctor. I'm a holistic nutritionist and coach. So just to ensure transparency and clarity, I'm not a licensed physician. Today's content is educational, drawn from my personal experience and the experience of my clients. Always team up with your healthcare provider, to make sure that your healthcare is tailored to your specific needs. So I'm going to go over the agenda for today, just so you kind of know what's going on. First, we're going to do this presentation entitled Unlock the Power of Self-Advocacy. And then I'm going to do a client spotlight. Her name is Denise Mosley, and we're going to hear her inspiring story of transformation and success. And then lastly, I will introduce you to the 6-week challenge that's going to kick off in January of 2026. That is something I get super excited about this time of year. So I'll tell you all about it when that time comes. So without further ado, I want you to put in the group chat one health goal you're working towards or hoping to achieve in the very near future. Go ahead and put that in the group chat. Something you're working towards, a health goal, or something you are maybe even close to achieving. Put that in the group chat and share with us. And while you all are sharing, I'm going to start by sharing my personal story. So my name is Shantae Coles. I've been dedicated to my wellness journey since 2018. Well, really before then, but that's when I really got serious about it. And throughout the years, I've achieved remarkable health improvements, including losing 35 pounds, pre-diabetes. I reversed that, enhanced my cholesterol levels, and recovered from being vitamin D deficient and anemic. And most recently, mid part of this year, I even avoided a highly recommended hysterectomy by taking a holistic course of action that allowed my fibroids to shrink. I was about to say hemorrhoids, y'all. Fibroids to shrink. And after accomplishing these milestones, I really felt pretty good about myself. I felt healthier. I felt more energetic than ever before. And, that's kind of what fueled my passion for helping others. So I decided to launch my business in 2022, Heal Holistic Nutrition. And the aim was to guide women towards their health journey and help them to accomplish their goal. And I've been able to help hundreds of women to date to empower them to take control of their wellness. But then disaster struck. Most recently, disaster struck. Something unexpected happened just a few weeks ago. October 31st is when I started feeling this strange pain in my neck. And at first, I didn't think much of it until the symptoms started to progress. And by November the 2nd, I woke up with the left side of my face paralyzed. I rushed to the ER, fearing that I had had a stroke, but it was so strange because I knew I didn't have any of the markers, the risk factors for stroke. So I'm like, okay, I can't be having a stroke. But after some tests, I was diagnosed with a condition called Bell's palsy. And I had never heard of it before, but I was given a brief, and I do mean brief, explanation along with some medication, and then told to just follow up with my neurologist. But that wasn't enough for me. That just kind of fired me up and actually made me angry because there just wasn't enough information. I wanted to understand why this had happened, and what I could do to recover, because the information the ER doctor gave me was just so bleak. Like, really, 40,000 people a year get this condition. So it's very rare, so rare. There's not enough information out there. There's like, they're not spending money on studies to figure out why, because that was my first question to him is, I'm pretty healthy. How and why did this happen to me? And I was just given a reason that just did not make sense to me. So I dug deep and I started doing my own research, like my life depended on it, because it did. I researched Bell's palsy. I watched videos on Ramsey Hunt, which is closely related. I read articles. I sought alternative treatments. And through this health challenge, I've learned so much about myself personally and my body and the importance of advocating for myself. So you can learn more if you want about my journey. If you follow me on YouTube, my YouTube channel is named Heal with Coach Tech. Heal with Coach Tech. And I've always been one to challenge my doctors. I ask a lot of questions, but I've been led to believe more recently that maybe I haven't been asking all the right questions. This experience really made me realize just how crucial it is to be proactive about my health. And that is why we are here today, because proactive is the key word. Now, what does it mean to be proactive? Well, being proactive involves not waiting for others to take action. It involves you taking action. And as someone who's passionate about wellness, I just want to share this knowledge with you and empower you, because I believe everyone deserves to feel like they have been informed and that they're supported in their health journey. It is nothing worse than to have a chronic illness and to not be supported. So this is why we are gathered here today, because you yourself, or maybe someone that you love, is struggling with something chronic and you have no idea how to help them. Well, this is going to help you to help them. Okay? And with that said, there are many challenges in the health and care field. Just to name a few that you see here on the screen: accessibility. Access to quality healthcare is limited and can be limited for certain populations, such as those with low incomes or with inadequate health insurance. Managing chronic conditions like diabetes or heart disease requires ongoing care and can really strain your resources. And sometimes, even with good health insurance, something as simple as a referral can create delays in receiving proper care. I know I've experienced that myself. The second thing is just having shortages of providers. There are a lot of doctors out there retiring early. They're leaving their profession due to burnout, or they're just sick and tired of fighting with the insurance companies. And it's just further reducing the availability of qualified doctors. Now, you may get a doctor, but is that doctor really qualified to help you with your situation? Certain specialties like psychiatry or even primary care, and in my case, a neurologist, these fields face severe shortages, leading to longer wait times for appointments. And then you have rising costs. Everything's going up, of course. Healthcare costs continue to rise, making it difficult for many people to afford necessary medical care, prescriptions, or medical equipment that they need. And then there are health stigmas. So despite increased awareness, stigmas around certain health issues still persist, leading to people being underdiagnosed or leading to inadequate treatments. And speaking of being misdiagnosed, I definitely have a personal experience with this one most recently, but it's very common for this to happen. Just look at some of the stats that illustrate the extent of these issues. Annually, approximately 12 million US adults are misdiagnosed in outpatient settings. And this is according to a study that was published in BMJ Quality and Safety. And there's an estimated 40,000 to 80,000 deaths that occur in the United States hospitals each year due to diagnostic errors or reports. This is reported by the Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality. And then last but not least, we have another factor here. Research suggests that women and people of color are more likely to be misdiagnosed, often due to implicit biases in healthcare settings. Now I want to read a quote here from one of my favorite books. It's entitled, How Not to Die. It's written by a doctor. His name is Michael Greger. And this book lists the 15 leading causes of premature death in the United States. Heart disease is the #1 cause of premature death in America. And I think a lot of people know that one. You can Google that. And then Dr. Greger goes throughout this book and lists the names of the top killers. Lung disease, diabetes. I think diabetes was like the number 6. Cancer, kidney disorders. You would never guess which one ranked 15. The 15th leading cause of death in America. You would never guess because you probably never heard of this word before. Well, I'm going to display it on the screen here in just a second. It is pronounced iatrogenic. So iatrogenic deaths are the 15th cause of death in America, highest cause. Now I'm going to read something, passage from Dr. Greger's book here on chapter 15 about iatrogenic causes of death. And you can read the definition there on the screen. So unfortunately, modern medicine isn't nearly as effective as most people think. Doctors excel at treating acute conditions, such as mending broken bones and curing infections. But for chronic diseases, which are the leading causes of death and disability, conventional medicine doesn't have much to offer, and in fact can sometimes do more harm than good. For example, side effects from medications given in hospitals kill an estimated 106,000 Americans every year. That statistic alone effectively makes medical care the 6th leading cause of death in the United States. So when you look at the stats, iatrogenic is how you pronounce that word. And I like the way Dr. Greger put it, because he is a doctor. He can say this. He calls it death by a doctor. So doctors cause a lot of people to lose their lives. Now, let me just back up the doctors here for a second. These are highly trained professionals, and they are not infallible. It's essential to remember that your doctor is human and they will make mistakes. However, you know your body best. And if something doesn't feel right, it's okay to question your doctor's theories and seek a second opinion. By doing your own research and asking questions and being persistent, you can ensure that you're getting the best care possible. Being your own health advocate, that's what this is about. It's not about disrespecting your doctor's orders or not complying with what they tell you. It's about taking care of your well-being and making sure you're making informed decisions. So don't be afraid to speak up and to advocate for yourself. So we're going to run through just a little scenario here. And it's in regards to a differential diagnosis. So when you visit a doctor with a health concern and you explain your symptoms and you tell them what you're going through, and based on what you tell them, your doctor starts to consider all the possible causes of your symptoms. They're doing all this in their head. They learn how to do this in medical school. It's one of the first things they learn how to do. They learn to put together what's called a differential diagnosis, okay? Which basically means they come up with all the possible conditions that could be causing your symptoms. Now, just like a detective, solving a mystery, doctors use the knowledge that they gained in their schooling experience, and also the available evidence that you're providing them to rule out less likely causes and try to narrow down the possibilities. And by doing this, they can make an educated guess about what's causing your symptoms. And sometimes they can have tests and different labs to back them up. And they decide on your best treatment from there. Now, that's what they're supposed to do. But suppose you get a physician that wants to blow you off and tell you, oh, it's probably nothing. You go to them saying, I've been having this pain in my chest, and I don't know what it is. I've been having this pain for about 2 weeks. You describe what it's like, and they say, oh, maybe it's gas. It's probably nothing. Well, that's your time to start asking some questions. And I want you to start with the first question that you see on the screen. Well, doc, I hear what you're saying, but can you please tell me, what is your differential diagnosis for the chest pain I'm experiencing right now? Now, initially, they will be caught off guard and probably a little shocked that you asked this question, because they're thinking, you don't know nothing about this. This is something I learned in medical school. You didn't go to medical school, so you should know about this. So they're going to be shocked. But what he or she should do is tell you all the possible things that could be causing this chest pain, such as maybe a heart-related issue like angina, or maybe a respiratory problem like bronchitis or asthma. Maybe you strained a muscle. They're supposed to go through all these things with you. You see, there could be many possible causes. And after they tell you some of the possible causes, your next question should be, since you said this is probably gas, can you please tell me how you have ruled out all the other possible conditions? Ladies, that is empowerment. Empowerment is the process of gaining power and confidence and authority over your health. You take control. Empowerment is the key to unlocking your health potential. It's all about embracing your inner strength, seizing control of your well-being, and asserting your voice in the healthcare system. Okay? It's going to build your confidence. You take control. You're in power. Okay? From now on, embrace that power and own your health journey. So that was my brief presentation on empowerment and being an advocate for your health. Now, this leads me into my next portion. I would like to introduce you all to a very special lady, someone whose picture sits next to the word empowered in the dictionary. Okay. I started working with Denise in December of 2023. And she joined my 5-week double pump challenge. She had much success in that short challenge and decided to join my monthly membership thereafter. And during the months that followed, I learned really quickly that this lady was going to be a client to keep me on my toes. I appreciated her passion, her commitment, and her tenacious spirit. She did lots of research on her own, and then she would bring things to me, and we would meet together, and we had lots of discussions. And together, we uncovered a lot of things. There were roadblocks along the way, but Denise always worked with her doctors, and she worked with me to get around these roadblocks. But I'd like her to tell you all about it. So I'm going to interview Denise and ask her a few questions. So let me just go ahead and get that set up. And let's stop this presentation here. All right, Denise, I just need to spotlight you, and then I will ask you to unmute yourself in just a second. Well, let me go ahead and ask you to unmute yourself. I'm still trying to figure out this spotlight thing. Okay, so maybe we'll just keep it like this. All right, so Denise, how are you doing today?
Doing great, Coach. How are
Wonderful.
you doing?
I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in there. So nice to see you.
It's good to see you as well, all of the ladies.
Yes, so let's get started. Let's just ask a couple of questions here. So tell me a little about yourself and some of the health challenges that you have dealt with.
So I am 68 years old, originally from North Carolina. I moved to Austin from Schweinfurt, Germany on January 26th of 1988. With the exception of a few temp jobs, I was employed by an administrative law attorney who was in private practice. I recently retired from working as a paralegal for over 40 years. So, as far as my health challenges, oh my goodness, I'm currently dealing with thyroid disease, both Graves' disease and hypothyroidism, high blood pressure, diabetes, and recently gallbladder disease. I was scheduled to have my gallbladder removed on 3 different occasions, but I opted not to since there was no damage to my gallbladder. It's been a journey trying to navigate all the issues, but I have a phenomenal team which consists of a cardiologist, endocrinologist, functional doctor, gastroenterologist, geriatric physician, holistic nutritional coach, neurologist, personal trainer, podiatrist, and a primary care physician. All of these providers are necessary to help me navigate through these various issues. For example, during the weight loss program, my thyroid medication had to be reduced on 4 different occasions because it's prescribed based on weight, which I was not aware of. So it takes a while for that medication to take effect. So there were days when I didn't have energy to do anything. However, I was able to stay on the course based on the assistance of my team. And previously, my progress would have been derailed. So it's important to have people in place to help you.
Exactly. And I love how you said that you have a team, and that is truly what it takes. It takes a team of healthcare providers to get you what you need. Yes. Now, why did you decide it was time to focus on your health? Because I remember having a conversation with you, and there was a time in life where you weren't as focused on your health. So why did you decide it was time?
So I became a diabetic in 1997, which is when everything else began. I've been on this road since that time. However, it's been very frustrating trying to deal with all of it at once. As mentioned before, I have an excellent team to help me, and I was tired of taking medication, and I saw the trend of taking more medication. My future looked very bleak. So having been a caregiver for so many family members, I knew the warning signs. Yes. I've been a researcher for many years. I found bits and pieces, but could never connect the dots to formulate a serious wellness program. So a dear friend of mine, who's a client of yours, told me about you. And after meeting with you, it became clear to me the different options that were available to me to be successful in reaching my goals, which were losing weight, maintaining a healthy blood sugar, and exercising simultaneously.
And speaking of those different things that you've had to incorporate into your lifestyle, how do you manage to do that, to integrate all these healthy activities, meal prep and building a schedule, exercise? How did you do that?
Well, her name is Coach Tay. I recall the first conversation we had about meal prep, and I told you I don't cook. I remember. And you politely said that that's about to change. So initially it was difficult because I was working full time. But then I appreciated not having to cook every day. So I embraced meal prepping, which I now love. Also, I had help from dear friends along the way with meal prep.
Awesome. Awesome. And I know you started exercising, doing Pilates and doing different things like that. How did you work that into your schedule when you were working?
So based on my time, I had to figure out days that would work for me to become consistent with this plan. I am from the South, so cooking healthy was new to me. So I had to learn how to cook in a healthy way. So joining your various challenges helped me to get my feet wet in meal prepping and understanding food labels, the importance of lowering stress levels, as well as healthy living. Right. So it's a total makeover.
Yes, it is. Now, what were some of the immediate benefits of joining my holistic health program?
So to date, I have lost a total of 90 pounds.
Wow.
I've dropped 6 dress sizes. I've had reduction in medication and
Hmm.
overall education regarding food.
And I have seen it all. I've been walking with you through this process. And I
Yes, you have.
love the pictures. You always keep me up to date with your pictures. So I didn't have to ask you for pictures when I had to prep for this interview. I already had everything. So, what are some of the main takeaways from my program? Something that has maybe 2 or 3 things that have really impacted you.
Number one is intermittent fasting and how important it is to overall health.
Right.
Number two, I am no longer a slave to food.
Love
That's
that.
huge for me. And
Hmm.
number three, understanding the role that food plays in our daily lives. For
Hmm.
example, we should eat to live and not live to eat. When
Amen.
you adopt that mindset, you have conquered half the battle.
That is so true. That is so true. And that's the hardest mindset to to conquer. It is the hardest piece. But once
Mhm.
you've done that, then you have won the battle.
And that's so true. I know my
Hmm.
photos of my food looks boring and it's pretty much the same all the time, but it's nourishing my body. That's
It's
all that
nourishing
matters.
and you are happy, and that's all that matters.
That's
You
it.
know, you're happy with what you're eating
Yeah.
because, I tell my clients, if you're not happy with the food that you're eating, then we need to start over.
Yeah.
So you got to figure out how to be healthy and happy at the same time. And you've
Sure.
done that.
Yeah.
So, what were some of the setbacks on your journey?
So I became very frustrated when I could no longer lose weight. I reached a point and it
Mhm.
just wasn't coming off.
That plateau.
So
Hmm.
to jumpstart this process, I began engaging in extended fast,
Hmm.
which has yielded fantastic results. I just
Awesome.
feel great. I never tried fasting until I joined this program. I thought being a diabetic, I could never fast, but
Hmm.
my blood sugars remained totally in range during the entire fast.
And what's the longest fast that you've done?
I just finished a 5 day fast.
All right.
I broke
All
it
right.
yesterday morning.
You got me beat because I've only done a 3 day. I have not done
Yeah,
a 5 day fast. That is awesome.
that's
Superb.
the second one I've done
I
because
know.
yeah, I did one before I went
Awesome.
on vacation. Yeah.
And I
I,
know,
I love the autophagy. That's what
right.
draws me to extended
Mental
fasting.
clarity, right? Yes.
Yes.
All
And
right.
cell renewal.
So, if you could give someone a piece of advice when it comes down to changing their mindset, what is one piece you would give someone struggling to stay consistent with their health goals?
So I would say look at the alternatives.
Hmm.
That is cost of prescription drugs, side effects from those drugs, shorter lifespan, happiness and peace. Quality of life is something that should be considered when accessing your health and life goals.
Exactly. So true. And what are some things that you did to be your own health advocate? And I was on the ride with you with some of those appointments. You go to the doctor, then you say, let me tell you what happened at the doctor's appointment, or help you prepare for an appointment. So let's talk about that. What were some things that you did?
So, what I like to do is get my lab work done before my appointment
Uh-huh.
so that I have an opportunity to look at the labs, do my research to formulate my questions for the doctor.
Hmm.
So, to answer your question, I would research to understand lab results, diagnoses, and most importantly, listening to my body,
Right.
engaging my team members so we were all on the same page.
Hmm.
Our bodies are beautifully made, and one practitioner can't deal with the complexities of our bodies. So it
So true.
requires several providers. And I suggest engage them now before a crisis so that you have that relationship already established before the storm hits.
Exactly. Very, very solid advice. And you have a magnificent primary care physician.
Yes, ma'am.
She is amazing.
She is.
Everyone is not fortunate enough to have someone like her.
That's true.
Yeah.
I know, and I don't want to lose her. I know she's probably getting close to retirement, but I'm
And that makes you scared, don't it?
I am. I've
I'm
got
telling
one
you.
that's retiring in March. So, yeah.
Yeah, I had one to retire on me 2 years ago, and I have not been able to replace her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is tough. It's
Yeah.
tough. So what motivates you to continue with your lifestyle? You've
I
already said it
feel,
pretty much, but let's
yeah,
hit it with a bang.
I feel fantastic. I am mobile. I want to spend time, as much time as I can in my ministry, along with my grandchildren. These
Exactly.
activities keep me happy and motivated.
All right. I know those grandkids, you're going to give them a run for their money. That's what I'm talking about.
I had the opportunity to see my grandson first game, his football game.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome.
Wow.
And so this coming weekend, my granddaughter has a debate at the University of Texas, and I'll be attending that. So
That is
I
awesome.
am looking forward to that, which is something I couldn't do before because I was working.
What do your
So,
family and friends say about this change, this healthier Denise?
well, I went on vacation, went to North Carolina, and fortunately, I was happy to receive compliments like "you look healthy."
Yes.
I love that because
Mm-hmm.
I am
Mm-hmm.
not in this to be a size two.
Right.
Okay, I want to be healthy,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's pretty much what I got. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome. So I hear my clients sometimes say they feel stuck and they just can't seem to make this a lifestyle. It's kind of a yo-yo. They're on, they do the challenges and then whoop, they fall off. Why do you think
Mhm.
that happens?
I think, like I said earlier, this is a total makeover
Mm-hmm.
because when I look at photos of myself 2 years ago, I see grief, I see depression, I see pain, I see a lot into that photo.
Mm-hmm.
And until you deal with some of those underlying issues, it's going to be difficult because you're using food for some other reason than survival.
Right. So true.
Yeah.
So true. That is so true. And Denise, I thank you so much for sharing your story. We've been meaning to do this for quite some time. So I
We
am
have
just
it.
ecstatic we finally got it done. So happy.
Well,
Thank you so much.
now is the right time. So,
Yes, exactly. It's happening
yeah,
at the right time. And
yeah.
congratulations on the weight loss. Oh my goodness. Are you
Thank
kidding
you.
me? You said 90 pounds.
90 pounds. Yes,
That
ma'am.
is superb. That's superb. And the group is applauding you, all the hand
Thank you
claps.
all. And
That's
I said
awesome.
that not to mention all of the inches that I've lost.
Oh, I know about the inches. I could
Yeah,
see it on Zoom when you send me your pictures. I'm like, oh my God,
yeah,
look at the inches that you've lost.
yes.
Amazing.
Due to primarily inflammation.
Yes, yes.
Inflammation.
And
Yeah.
intermittent fasting is really helping with that. Is
Yes.
really helping with that. So I know losing weight can be a little expensive because you got to buy new clothes. That's a good thing, isn't it?
Actually, I did not
What?
because when I started this, I was
Mm-hmm.
at the heaviest I had ever been.
Mm-hmm.
So I have clothes in my closet. I just had on a suit today that I've had over 20 years
Oh my God.
that I wore today.
Are you
Okay.
kidding me?
I'm very serious. And so I
What?
didn't have to buy clothes. I'm wearing the clothes I already have.
That you was wearing back in the day. Now see, that's what
Sure.
I'm talking. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes. Yeah.
That is awesome. That is
Yeah.
awesome. Congratulations once
Thank
again,
you.
Denise, and thank you for allowing us to spotlight you today.
Thank you so much, Coach.
You are
I can't say
so
enough about
welcome.
you.
Well, I'm only half of the battle. You took the information and you implemented and you used it, and that's why you've seen the success that you have. So congrats once again.
Thank you.
So just to kind of move on, thank you again, Denise. We are going to talk about the challenge that's going to happen here. So let's see, find my notes here. So the 2026 challenge. Back in the days, I used to call it the double pump, but I'm not calling it that anymore because life has changed. I'm calling it lose the madness. Because I'm going to tell you all, when this happened to me, I was mad because I did all the things. I did everything. And life still happened. And I just want you all to know that sometimes That's how it is. Unforeseen occurrences befall all. It can happen. Doesn't matter what you do. However, along with that, I am already seeing results of me healing. My nerve damage is starting to repair itself. And I know for a fact it's because of all the holistic things I've been doing to take care of myself. So the 2026 challenge is going to be hype, okay? Because I'm on a completely different playing field right now, y'all. It's called Lose the Madness. So it is a comprehensive 6-week program designed to help you shed unwanted pounds, overcome stress, and this is the new piece, identify and break free of bad habits, because that's what's really holding a lot of people back. It's going to help you to have a more balanced approach to your health and wellness. And it's going to be done holistically, and it should be sustainable. Okay. So whether you're navigating that busy lifestyle or just trying to figure things out, trying to figure out why you remain stuck where you are, this challenge is going to be for you. It's going to empower you to take control one step at a time. So the challenge is going to run from January 5th, 2026 to February 15th. Registration is going to open up December the 21st. Okay. So for my early birds, the December 21st special is going to allow you to get the cheapest rate. It's $200 to join this challenge. January 1 through January 5. Okay, that's getting closer to the start of the challenge. So it's going to go up to $250. And then by January the 6th, that's late registration because the challenge starts on the 5th. Okay, so $300. So don't wait till the last minute. If you're ready for a change, hop on board. And if any of you are like $200, $250, how much is your health worth? That's all I want to say, because I'm going to tell you right now, the amount of money that I have spent over the last couple of weeks for my health has proven to me that you can't put a price on this. Okay. You cannot put a price on good health. You cannot put a price on taking good care of yourself, because either you handle it now or you pay for it when you have to go to the ER, or when you have to pay for all the medications that are required to deal with chronic illnesses. So take care of yourself now, make that step, and promise yourself that 2026 is going to be a change, and you're ready to take care of you, be an advocate for you, and I will be here to support you. So thank you all so much for joining today on this empowering journey. Remember, your health is in your hands, ladies. It is in your hands. So take the insights from today, embrace the role as your own health advocate, and step into a healthier, more confident you. Stay connected with me on all the social media platforms. I will be updating you all in a few weeks again on my journey. So let's continue to do this together to support one another on our wellness paths. I love you all. Have a great evening. Coach Tay out.